I'd like to call the November Park and Recreation Board meeting to order. The mission of the Richmond Parks and Recreation Board Department provides for the positive development and well-being of the Richmond community through the provision of parks, greenways, trails, recreational programming, and facilities while working in cooperation with other service providers and partners in the community to maximize all available resources. I don't believe we had any special guests. Bid opening, we'd like to open up some bids for contractors for 2026. Thanks. This one is from North Mechanical. Labor rate is $125 an hour, no minimum hours, and overtime is $175 an hour. I think that's all this.
That was mechanical. is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is from Wallace Heating and Air. Hourly labor rate, service call is $120, includes a half hour, $1.75 minimum after the first half hour. After hours is $175. I guess that's $175 an hour. And the $250 must be the minimum. Holiday is $225 with $350 is their minimum. Not sure I understand what that is, but and they got the insurance. This was from Reynolds Plumbing. Regular hourly rate is $80. Overtime is $120. This one's from D&B Plumbing. DB Plumbing, I'm sorry. Regular hourly rate is $80 an hour. Minimum 1 hour. Plumbing overtime is $120 an hour. Material markup is 5%. This is Carroll Electric. Excuse me. Hourly rate is $72 an hour, and overtime is $98 an hour. Material markup is 20%. This was Hill Electric. Labor rate is, regular labor rate is $75 an hour. Overtime, 115. Material markup not applicable. This is from Cummins Electric. Their hourly rate is $110 an hour. Each additional hour is $110. Minimum charge, $110. Overtime, hourly rate, $140. Saturdays, $140. Sunday and holidays, $170. Service vehicle rate, $25 on a call. Bucket truck rate, $150 a day. Material cost 20% markup. And this is specialized mechanical. Their hourly rate is $99. Minimum is not applicable, if any. And mechanical overtime hours, 150. That's it. Okay, everybody read the minutes, I assume? Entertain a motion to approve the October 9th minutes.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Administration report, Park Superintendent report.
I just wanted to highlight, we have a lot going on these days. We've been really busy with some information that you'll see down below. Obviously, the changes in the budget, as well as some of the things under delegations and correspondence and new business. So I'll kind of keep my comments brief, and we can talk through those things down below.
Any questions? Jim is not here.
Jim is taking the bids under advisement, and will offer a recommendation.
Okay, Becky, did you have anything you wanted to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did have one question, I know for Jim, but he's not here.
Is it on the report?
Yes,
Okay,
and it talks about invasive species removal.
okay.
What was that, do you know, is it the?
Where?
What-
We were doing invasive removal
It's
species
in Glen Miller.
Primarily around the pond. We did a pond day with some volunteers.
Okay.
So that was something that we were working on, just as kind of a service day with a group of volunteers.
Okay, I remember that.
It went really well. I believe there were 8 that attended on that day, and cleared some of the spillway as well.
Do you know, was it a variety of species? I'm assuming.
Yeah, so usually when we're clearing invasive species, we're clearing the tree of heaven, Japanese honeysuckle, things of that nature. And around the pond, we see a lot of tree of heaven. And so we're gonna, try to leave the embankment as as much as we can with those good species, and so that natives can actually grow up around there. We did do some, back in the spring, we did some spraying off of some of those invasives as well. I think people probably saw some brown around the pond, and that was purposeful so that we can stabilize the bank and start seeing some natives growing back, and we're reseeding it. So that's definitely very purposeful. I know that the Floral Division has been doing a lot of research on some of this pond restabilization and making sure that we're good to go. Obviously, one of our main projects is going to be dredging this pond soon. The last time it was dredged was 1972. And so, we also are concerned when we dredge that the spillway is something that we want to make sure is also intact. There's some cracks in the spillway, and so we'll have to get in and repair that once the water level is down. So, I mean, there's some severe needs there at the pond level, and then on down into the entrance in the waterway.
Thank you.
Becky?
Well, we're still growing. We're still getting new members even today. And I wanted to say thank you to those of you that came to the Senior Center for the $5,000 from Myers. That was a huge donation, and it was fun and exciting. And then the next day, we got a $1,000 donation I hadn't planned on from Mayflower, because 4 of our members went on a trip, and they gave back the advertising dollars for that. So that was exciting, too, to add to our programming. We needed a new flag, and one of our members is Mark Morris, and he purchased a new flag for us and then hung it up, so we were all ready for Veterans Day. So we're full, we're growing, we're having fun, and tomorrow, just in case you're out, it's the science fiction 1984 George Orwell's Popcorn Provided. So that should be pretty fun. So that's really what I've got, so thank you.
Thank you.
Donna's also here from Widow Person Services. She might have a few things to say, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Evening. The Widow Persons New Beginnings have had a lot of new interest from different individuals. We even had a gentleman stop in today that was afraid to get out of his home, and he came out to the center today, and he said he found it very welcoming and found out that I could help him out with some things that he's had, and also Becky. So he found the center very welcoming, and he can't wait to come back. So we're happy about that. We are having a program on Monday that will be identifying Alzheimer's and dementia and explaining to a lot of people the difference between that. We have Robin Rocket from the Indiana Alzheimer's Association coming in, and she's going to provide a program for that because there's a lot of differences between the two, and then there's similarities. So we're getting that done, and we're also helping a lot of people get through grief, and we've even had one of our employees going through grief. So we're doing well. We're having a lot more people interested. We're going to start having grief programs at the center starting in December. So we're growing also. So just wanted to bring you up to speed and let you know that we're going full steam ahead.
How did you do in your mom sales? How did that go?
The mom sales, we made over $500 with that.
That's really great.
Good.
And we also had a silent auction here recently, and we made over $700 with that. And I've been asked if we would try to sell poinsettias at Christmas time by Becker's, so we're approaching that and see how that works out.
Okay.
But we're always looking at other ways to providing some more funds for them.
Yep, perfect.
Any questions?
Great work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Donna.
Okay, let's, board's concerns and comments. Did you have something you wanted to say?
Just in delegations, anybody has anything? Just the historical marker dedication, I wanted to make sure that everybody was invited and knows what's happening. So we were very excited that we were approved for a historical marker This is very exciting for us. It was a very long process in trying to get the historical marker. And so this will be a very big celebration on November 20th at the Star Jeanette Building. It'll be at noon, so it'll be kind of quick, but we do have people coming in from Indianapolis from the Historical Society, helping celebrate this with us. They're actually doing the press release, so we're waiting on that to come through before we put it through our local media. So I just wanted to give that information to you so you guys can mark your calendars and come out to that dedication, because it is a really big deal. We're celebrating that with the Star Jeanette Foundation, and we're very excited to be able to have that down at Star Jeanette. We feel like it's very important, especially since there's going to be a lot of construction going on in the near future down there. We're going to put it in one of the landscaping beds right when you come into the area, so you can see it right when you drive in. You can see that historical marker. So right when you pull in to the parking lot there, you'll be able to see that historical marker. And then I did give you a.
With that, is this funded by the Historical Society? Was there a grant that we received for it?
Actually, this is funded by the Tourism Bureau and then the Parks Department. We went together on this, and
That's awesome.
yep. So
Very worthwhile.
yes, absolutely. And there was a student that actually did all the work to research and apply for this. So we just provided the funds, and she took care of all of the dirty work. So it was very nice. She did all the application process, which is a very long process. So we do appreciate that.
Where does the student go to school?
I don't remember, because she was graduating. It was kind of her master's, and so I will get all of that information for sure. It wasn't local.
Thanks, go to her.
Yes, for sure. I did give you by the numbers, and I just wanted to kind of give you this information, something we're passing out marketing-wise, and wanted to make sure that you had that.
Okay.
I did have one question, if I might, Mr. President. This is not with that particular subject, but we slipped through the financials pretty quickly. I noticed that on our income side, we had a $29,000 miscellaneous income
Yes.
item.
That we
May I-
just received?
Yes.
Yes, you will see that. We did receive some of the funds that we are due from Richmond Community Schools because of the utilities that were not switched over at that time. So we received
Relation-
some of the electric at this time. So we put that into miscellaneous revenue.
This from McBride.
Correct. So we're working on.
Anything else?
No, that was, and obviously the farmer's market continues to do exceptionally well.
Yes, the farmer's market, and I do want to highlight, I'm glad you reminded me about this, because I wasn't able, and I'll send you out, I'm sure that you're all following us on Facebook, but we're able to do a new program that we're implementing this Saturday, which we're very excited about, with our partners from Reed Health and the UEA, the Urban Enterprise Association. We came up with a program called Bridging the Gap. And this is a program that we'll be implementing on top of our Double Dollar SNAP program with Reed Health. We've received $5,000 from Reed and $5,000 from the UEA. And that $10,000 we'll be using to bridge the gap with the SNAP and EBT funds that have been, somewhat disproportionate in the last few months. So what we want to do is try to help that in the market side of things. We have a lot of customers who utilize our double dollars with the SNAP program. And so when they show their SNAP EBT card at the market, they will receive $20 if they have a SNAP card. And they show their SNAP card with their ID. So they have to show their SNAP card, and the name has to match the ID that they have. And then we write down their SNAP last digits of their SNAP card, And then they will receive that $20 from the Bridging the Gap program. Then we will match that $20 from Reed Health, like we normally do. So they will receive $40 when they come to the market.
Good.
Awesome.
So all they have to do is step in the door. And so that is to help out with anything that we can do at the market and provide that fresh, local access of food. This is something that we will do start this Saturday, and we will try to serve up to 30 families each market. And if we can serve 30 families up to each market, then, you know, we're going to continue this throughout the end of the year. And then we'll reevaluate.
Good.
So we're very excited about this program. We've put out a press release. We've also marketed it on social media to roll this out. So we just hope that families will take advantage of it. We know times have been tough. We know that they want to, even if they have half of their SNAP funds right now, they want to hold on to those. So we want to give them $20 by just walking in the door. So our partners at Reed and UEA, we can thank for that, and we'll be looking forward to seeing people at the market on Saturday from 9 to noon. Any questions with that?
Not about that, but I will just say there are a lot of really impressive numbers on this sheet, and I'm sure it will end up on social media, but for the public that can't see it right now, I'll point out that this almost 1,400 members of the senior center, and then over 800 volunteers so far this year for the Parks Department, doing work throughout the park system, saving the parks over $375,000. That is incredible work by this community. Work that some of those volunteers did was collecting over 700 pounds of trash, garbage, litter. And the Parks Department, in addition to that, also cleaned up over 3,500 pounds of trash from our floral division. There's a lot of really incredible work being done by this Parks Department despite continued restrictions on the budget. And so we're just so appreciative of the park staff and all of the volunteers that help out the Parks Department. So I just want to say thank you.
Well said.
The team does a fabulous job. We just posted today one of the repairs that we needed to do at Glen Miller. The slide got put in today. I mean, it took quite a bit of teamwork to get that piece of slide in. But, you know, it was reported in October. It takes a while to get those types of pieces of equipment in. I think the public maybe doesn't necessarily understand how long some of these pieces of playground equipment take to order and how expensive they are. I mean, it cost us $1,300 for just one little piece of slide. And so that was put in today by the Parks team. So now it's safe and we can use the curly slide again at Glen Miller. But when we posted that, we wanted to make sure that people understand that aging playgrounds take a lot of money. Takes a lot of time, takes a lot of people to be able to work through those. So this 26-year-old playground at Glen Miller, it takes a lot of time and energy and money. So, you know, it's well-loved, that's for sure.
I think that's another thing not a lot of people understand is how old this playground in particular really is. I mean, this is from the 90s.
Yeah, 1999 bond.
Yeah.
And also the splash pad. So, you know, a playground, you know, lifespan depends on how much it's used and how much you can repair and how, you know, when it becomes obsolete on the equipment that you can get. And so right now we can still get things for the slides and items to repair it and things like that. But, you know, there's a lot of things on this playground that cost a lot of money. And so we're working through that. That's one of the things we'll talk about here in a little bit as one of our main projects that we'd like to focus on going forward.
Also takes a lot of good care
Yes.
by the users to make
It
sure
does,
that
you're
we
right.
do extend the use of the equipment.
It's true, yes, and to use it properly. You're right. Good point.
Okay, old business.
I did provide you with the final budget numbers as we had received those last month, and it was approved by council. I don't know if Bill wants to talk about that at all as our liaison, but we did receive a final approval. So that was great on October 30th. So that was wonderful.
Yeah, I just want to say that the budget this year was a struggle, and council had to work very hard with the administration to make the numbers work, and everybody, including Denise, was very cooperative and helpful in establishing that new budget for '26, and we may have to go through this again in '27, so thanks for all your work.
And I wanted to make sure that you had it obviously in your agenda, but then also I wanted to make sure that you had it in front of you. And it might take some time to study it, and if you have any questions, highlight those questions, give me a call, and we can meet and talk about it, and I can give you some of, a deeper dive into some of those areas. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
I have a,
Just as a cursory, anybody have any questions or
yeah,
comments?
I have a question.
Excuse me.
Is circuit breaker credits here in this budget?
On the 2204?
Yes. At 1.269. But circuit breaker credit, I'm confused on that.
Okay, so the circuit breakers, and you're on,
I'm on the first page.
okay. So what a circuit breaker, you know what the circuit breaker is?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the credit part. Is this what we have lost because of circuit breakers this year?
Yes. Yes, it
So-
just goes down to the next line.
Okay.
Yep, it's the same amount as the circuit breaker.
So circuit breakers, if they didn't exist, we would have about $1.3 million more in this budget.
That is correct.
Thank you.
And then last year, as you see on the cash flow, last year, we would have had 1.2 million more.
Quite an impressive number.
Yes, it is. And depressing.
Yeah.
New business. Approval of Resolution 3-2025.
So I wanted to talk through Resolution 3, 2025, and also let Mike and Dakota talk through this a little bit. Mike and Dakota were asked to be on a food and beverage advisory team. Bill has done a really great job leading this team and initiative to talk through a food and beverage tax opportunity that we have. And this food and beverage tax opportunity is something that came along at the first of the year. Obviously, we have had this opportunity to enact this tax, and the legislators in January, when we had that opportunity, they wanted a very focused approach. There was a kind of a list of things that the food and beverage tax could support, and the legislators decided that, like I said, they wanted a focused approach, and so they chose to focus that on parks, trails, and the gorge. And so while we were not aware that the parks were going to be a beneficiary, we became that beneficiary, and we want to do that to the best of our ability. So Bill chose to work through that process and worked with Councilman Parker. They established a food and beverage tax advisory team consisting of 4 council members and 2 park board members and members of administration. We've been working really hard to figure out how to push this forward in a way that is consistent with how the Parks Department
has projects that we need funded, master plans that we have been working through, and how we can get these projects done as well. And also make sure that as council's in this driver's seat, how they want all of this done, because, you know, as they're the lead in this process, they're going to be appropriating the dollars. They're going to be leading this effort. So we want to make sure whatever's being done, that they have the full leadership in it, and that they feel comfortable. That's how we want this to go forward. So at this point, Mike and Dakota felt strongly about bringing a resolution to the park board so that also Park Board understands and knows what's also happening and shows the support of the board. And that we support, the board supports the food and beverage tax option as well. And I've given you a lot of information here for you to kind of read up on. I've come up with a food and beverage tax question and answer, and we've got kind of a tagline, it only takes one. And as you may know or not know, it's 1% on a dollar, so that's 1 penny. 1 penny on a dollar. So if you go to a restaurant and you have $20 meal, that's 20 cents to Parks Department, and to support parks. So that being said, if you're supporting local and your local foods, and you support local all the time, you can also support your local Parks Department as well at the same time. So very exciting things for the Parks Department coming around the corner, and at, I think, the right time as well. So I'll let Mike and Dakota talk a little bit more towards this resolution, and Bill, you can chime in as well at any point in time. I won't steal your thunder.
Yeah, I guess I will just say, I think an important piece of this is that this usage tax is only on prepared foods, and there are, in general, two types of audiences that would pay this tax. Obviously, local people going out to eat, having dinner out, but also visitors that come through our community, especially via Interstate 70. This is an old number, but I heard at one point that about 9 million people come down through Wayne County on I-70 per year. Many of those stop in Richmond for a snack, for food. They'll be the ones paying this tax, and it will improve our Parks Department for our community. And so I think that's really important, that we capitalize on every available opportunity to secure funding for this city, for this community, and for this Parks Department. Most, if not all, Denise can help me on this, is communities along I-70 in Indiana have already instituted a tax of this kind. It is standard across the state for communities like ours. Like I said, I don't think we can pass up any sort of opportunity for additional funds, especially ones that are going towards projects that will likely not otherwise be accomplished without additional funding like this. Beyond that, I just want to say thank you to Councilman Engel and the other council members for engaging in this process and leading the charge on this. I think it's incredibly important, and I appreciate your efforts.
Yes, sir.
There are 43 jurisdictions in the state of Indiana who currently have a food and beverage tax. And just as another fun fact, the legislation was initially approved in April of 2005. Assuming we would have enacted immediately, we would have begun collection in 2006, which means we've lost 20 years of revenue generated by a food and beverage tax. This conservative estimate of $1.5 million a year means that we've lost $30 million of lost revenue. So we can't do that again. We have the opportunity. It needs to be enacted by 2027, and so I think we have an opportunity now to kind of spearhead this, show the community that parks can be a leader in this effort and do it wisely, and be a good beneficiary of the dollars. We have opportunities to also leverage these funds, which we want to make the funds go further as much as we can. So just wanted to highlight that as well. I don't know if Mike or Bill want to add anything.
Yeah, I've got a couple
Okay,
comments.
absolutely.
We have seen a decline in our budget for 2026 through the struggles that Bill talked about in our, the budget process that we went through. Although this is independent of that, it is a support mechanism that allows us to make some of the shortfall that was enacted by the change in the budgets. Now, as I remember the ratio, approximately 40% of the revenue from the food and beverage tax comes from those travelers coming through Wayne County and Richmond. So it's not, the burden of this is not entirely on the city of Richmond, but the benefits are 100% for the benefit of Richmond. And we're not, it is still an opportunity. We have a schedule ahead of us that presents later in the month a similar resolution to the Common Council, which we look forward to on the 17th of November. And when we approach that, we'll process as quickly as we can and begin our work from a project standpoint for the Park Department here in Richmond. I look forward to it.
Following up on Mike's comments, this project is project-oriented, so we will use the funds and we will leverage the funds to do important projects in parks throughout the city, including Glen Miller and certainly Clear Creek and the golf course. And those are, it's an important step forward in maintaining what we have and in moving forward with our Parks Department.
Well said. And I think another thing, just people will start to hear and understand a little bit more. You know, Henry County, Delaware County, Madison, and Hancock County all have that food and beverage tax. So when they go there and they eat or they dine out, they may not realize that they are paying a food and beverage tax there. And so, you know, I just want to make sure that the people do realize that. Also, Marion County, they have a 2%. So, you know, this is a 1%, and we can definitely answer any other questions. We do have a website that's now posted that does list some of these Q&As, and I'm happy to talk to anyone about this. We have been making our rounds. We have been doing presentations. You'll see a presentation at council on the 17th, just this next Monday. So I would encourage people to tune in, and then we'll have more information on how people can also, you know, express any concerns or also support. So we would appreciate that as well.
Any other comments, questions?
No more.
Okay. Approval of the professional services agreement, 16.
We still have to
Do
approve
you
the
want to
resolution.
approve that?
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're okay.
We need to approve the resolution 3-2025, so.
I will make a motion to approve Resolution 3/2025.
And
A
I'll
second.
second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, approval of professional service agreement, 169-2025 to Verdis Advisors.
Yep, the Veritas Advisors, located at 5649 Lee Road in Indianapolis. I've spoke to the board before about a professional services agreement to Veritas in regards for an owner's representative for the Whitewater Gorge. And so I'm sure that you've looked over the exhibit. This is something that's very exciting for us to move forward with the Whitewater Gorge. This is to help us navigate through the BOT process, the build, operate, transfer process. This will be something that we are doing fairly quickly, and also ensuring that we get a developer on as quickly as possible. So there'll be an RFP process that we will be doing, and hope to, my timeline is get a developer on by the end of January. That's a very, you know, quick speed, full speed ahead for the gorge, but I think it's something that we can make happen. And also the Veritas Advisors will help us with that. It's something they have a lot of experience in, and helping us with that as well. So I think that this is something that will really encourage a seamless transition, and continue to help us to move forward in the Whitewater Gorge projects as quickly as possible.
Okay, so we need approval of the agreement.
I just have one quick question. We have not used this services before,
That is correct.
so we have vetted them, of course. They've been through the process.
We actually interviewed 3 other agencies,
Okay.
just to let you know. Even though with professional services, that is not something that you actually have to do by law, as state statute. But we did interview Beth, myself, and Katie Clark from MKSK. We did several interviews to determine who was a good fit for us in this situation. So I just wanted to let you know that they definitely came up on top.
Seems cost-wise very reasonable.
At this
Considering-
stage of the game,
Yeah.
it is very reasonable. There'll be additional addendums coming forth for additional services.
This is retainer money, I believe, or very close to that is
Yeah.
how we'd approach it
Yeah.
and define it. Okay.
And then if there'd be add-on services, we'll be coming back for addendums.
Any other go to question or anything?
Yeah, from what fund is this being pulled?
This will be pulled from the Gorge Fund.
The Gorge Fund. And then this project is split into 2 phases, the project development services and then construction services. The cost is split out for each of those, but the phase 2 is still TBD. Are we through this only approving phase 1?
Yes.
Because the contract to me reads as though it's for the entire scope.
So we are only approving the project services that are, we're approving the scope of services for phase 1. The issue is we don't have, like I said, we'll come back and talk through any other funds that we might need. The contract is in reference to the exhibit and the totals that you're seeing in compensation. When we see phase 2 as owner's representative services lump sum, it's TBD, but we don't necessarily have to utilize those if we aren't, if it's not in compliance with how we want those funds to be set up.
Okay.
And with professional services, those are things that we can negotiate as well.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve professional services agreement to Verdes Advisors, out of Indianapolis.
So moved?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, approval of grant submission to Kiwanis Club of Richmond on or before 11/30/2025.
This is a grant that we'll be applying for. This is in our entire grants blanket that we actually take to council every year, so that's already covered there. However, in the application, it requests an approval in the minutes from the board that you have approved this opportunity for us to apply. And this will be to the JUCO program.
Questions or comments? Entertain a motion approval of the grant submission to Kiwanis Club of Richmond.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
This would be a good time to thank them for all of their past support. They've been really great at supporting the JUCO program in several years. So just want to thank the Kiwanis Club of Richmond for that.
I did notice that the senior Kiwanis Club has closed. They have discontinued now.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Golden Kiwanis? Oh.
Yeah, as of last month, because I presented E.G. Hill to them on their last meeting.
Wow.
Maybe they'll merge.
That's too bad.
Okay, you don't talk about the application?
Yes.
Okay.
Jim, would you like to do your recommendations?
Can I speak with you just a moment?
Yes.
Who's going to speak to it?
Okay, after taking all these into advisement, the department would like to recommend Wallace Heating and Air for the HVAC.
Why don't you go ahead and repeat the
Their,
amounts?
their hourly rate was $120, overtime rate $175, North Mechanical was $125, and overtime $175.
Remind me who we had this year?
Pardon me?
Who did we have this year?
Wallace?
Would you like to accept these bids?
You
as we
want to
go?
do that as we go?
Sure.
Okay.
I think that would be,
I'd entertain a motion to accept Wallace Heating and Air.
So moved.
and just one quick question, if that's okay. So on North Mechanical, they didn't have any minimum hour? But Wallace had a incremental holiday?
Yeah, they broke it out to how much it is per minute.
Okay, I just
So
wanted to
it-
double
so,
check. I know
yeah,
I just wanted to verify that because you've seen the bid, so I just want to verify. So Wallace, North
cheap.
Mechanical broke it out per hour?
Yeah,
Okay. And so Wallace is the lowest bid? Okay. That would be our recommendation.
I will second the motion on the table.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, for plumbing,
for plumbing, Reynolds was $80 an hour and $120 for overtime. DB Plumbing was $80 an hour, $120 for overtime, but a 5% material charge. Department recommends Reynolds. They are currently who we work with, and they've done an excellent job for us, so.
So due to the material 5% markup and the minimum extra hour on the OT, then we're recommending Reynolds Plumbing? That would be our recommendation.
I'll make a motion to accept the bid from Reynolds Plumbing.
here a second.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Electric,
Okay, electrical, Carroll was $72 an hour and $98 for overtime. Hill Electric was $75 regular hour, the rate, $115 overtime. Carroll had a 20% material upcharge. Hill has 0. Cummins was $110 an hour and $140 for overtime, and a 20% markup also. With that being said, with the markup, I did some calculations, and it makes Hills would be the cheapest, so we would recommend going with Hill Electric.
We would recommend Hill Electric as the electrical vendor for 2026.
entertain approval of Hill Electric.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Mechanical,
We just had the one bid, so Specialized Mechanical is who we recommend. They were $99 for an hourly quote and $150 for the overtime.
entertain a motion to approve Specialized Mechanical.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And floor runners and shop towels.
No bids.
Bids.
No
What do we do in
bids.
this situation?
Actually, it's not up for bid at this time.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
reduction of the 2211.
This might be helpful if you take out your cash flow from your budget to show where it says on the 2025, and there's, should be, so as you can see, there is an additional appropriation or budget reduction, and it does say $100,000 on the 2025 line item. So that is what got us to our bottom line where we needed to be in the golf division. Therefore, we have to bring a authorization to the park board to formally take the $100,000 out of the budget and reduce that to bring it back down to the cash balance. To make sure that we reduce it out of the 2025 budget into the cash balance. So we had put that into the 2025 budget in hopes that if we had enough revenue, we would be able to start the pole barn. And at this time, it would be best to put it back into the cash balance.
Agree.
And we're going to be very optimistic that we can move forward with the food and beverage. And hopefully this will be one of our projects that we can do and we'll be able to move forward with how Highland also needs to move forward.
Good.
What does this bring the cash balance to, if approved?
So it's what it's listed here. So it's already been reduced.
Oh, it's already, I see. Okay. Good. It's a
Good
much
move.
healthier cash
Yep,
balance.
Yep,
Yeah, it's,
a little bit more realistic.
I like.
Now,
I like
this
the
is where
smile
we
on your
hope to
face.
land. We've got a lot of work to do before the end of the year, and we need to see some good revenues happening as well. So Wes has been working really hard, lots of tournaments, and we just need to continue moving forward with that. So we just need an approval of the reduction in appropriations from the board.
Entertain a motion to approve the reduction of the 100,000 on the park, or the golf budget.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any other business?
Not at this time.
Entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
5 minutes to go.